you doing, man?
Sorry, I finally got my monitor that I've been wanting. I got an early Christmas gift, so I was setting it up this morning. So this is the first time using it. So I apologize if little technical issues. I'm not the best with the tech side of things.
All good, man. I'm happy to have you on the program. Thanks for joining us. Just want to get your thoughts on the Coach Elko hire here at A&M.
Yeah, man, I love it. I think this is a situation where obviously we all know like A&M has everything. I'm sure you guys have talked about this a bunch. Like everyone across the country knows that the pieces are there. Like you don't need, like a Dion that had to go to Colorado and bring all this hype and attention, which is why I kind of, I know that name was floated out there when the vacancy opened up. I was like, they don't need a Dion. They don't need a hype man. They just need someone that can come in there and instill discipline, know how to run a program. And, I'm more of an offensive guy myself, obviously. So like I was kind of hoping that maybe Lane Kiffin, someone that's beat A&M 3 times in a row and someone who has done more with less there at Ole Miss, two 10-win seasons in the past 3 years. But, kind of my second guy was Mike Elko. Been there, knows the people, knows the program intimately, kind of went off and obviously had success there at Duke. Doesn't need all the flash and glamour. I mean, I was listening to, some other A&M people about just his opening press conference and when he landed, like it was just kind of just jump in a pickup truck. I thought it was Billy who might have said this, jump in a pickup truck, go to the facility, sign my papers and let's get to work. So that's what you're getting. And I kind of like the match for A&M. So now it's just about for him retaining those players on the roster, building up to the portal here the next month and they'll continue to bring in top recruits.
Aaron, along the Lane Kiffin lines, you can't make fun of A&M's traditions and coaches and curse players out and think you're going to get a job here, although I know he would have jumped at it.
I know. But that's Lane Kiffin, though. And that's the fun that he has, week in and week out. I mean, heck, he pokes fun at Nick Saban all the time in Alabama. And I think if that job does come open, and I don't know if Lane is maybe waiting for that opportunity of when Nick Saban does retire, like I do think, he would be on the short list of guys that they would consider to go to Tuscaloosa to take over for Nick. And I think he's cocky enough to think that he could take that job from the greatest coach of all time when he does retire and step right in. So, I mean, yeah, like not every fan base is going to be ready for Lane Kiffin and his, off the field antics, but when it comes to just coaching ball, like right now, A&M just wants to win. Like and Lane is once again have proven that he can win football games in the best conference with less talent. So I would hope that if he was the guy that A&M kind of targeted and went after, that the fan base is kind of like, you know what, it was fun, it was kind of silly, but we got a coach that can win. That's all that matters to us.
Well, I think they got that guy with the way his organization, his plan, his future plans, I should say. So let's talk a little bit about it. Do you think next year, if they can keep this core, and we're in a different world of college football, this is a team that can compete next year for a college football playoff spot?
Well, I think they can. I mean, you have a tremendous quarterback coming back. Obviously, get him healthy. We'll see what the receiving situation looks like. I'm sure there's some people talking behind the scenes about how to keep Evans there, or Evan Stewart there on campus. But yeah, there's plenty of talent. There's no doubt in my mind. And I know people are like, oh, well, the SEC is going to get significantly harder with Texas and Oklahoma. And Georgia's not going anywhere, and Alabama's not going anywhere, and LSU's not going anywhere. I get that. Like, it's not going to be easy for anyone. Heck, my Georgia Bulldogs got to go to Tuscaloosa and to Austin, Texas next year. And, we'll see if Carson stays, if Carson goes. You're losing Brock Bowers. Like, for everyone to get to that 12 is well, why it may be obviously a bigger number than 4 doesn't mean that's just going to be a snap your fingers. We're going to get in there and be able to do it. But A&M has a top 4 roster in the SEC. Like, you put them up there with Alabama, you put them up there with Texas and Georgia, and hell, they probably have a more talented quote unquote stars than LSU does. So could they, with the right coach, find their way into the 12 team playoff next year? 100%. There's no doubt about it. Like, I was high on them this year. I thought they would kind of push in the SEC West, be a 9-10 win team that would be on the outside looking in. but kind of then would be saying, hey, they won 10 games this season. That's good enough next year to get them into a 12-team playoff. So definitely an opportunity for them.
Aaron, does the Texas win over Bama in week 2 hold the same weight it did at that point, considering that Bama is a different team and Texas right now is behind Oregon in the race to move up a spot of the one-loss teams?
I don't think so, because I think Texas has gotten better too. Like, it's not just Alabama who's gotten better. Like, I hate this conversation from fans. They're like, oh, we've gotten so much better. Well, duh, you should. Everyone gets better. Like, there are very few teams that go significantly backwards, unless obviously you have some injuries that kind of hinder you. But like, Texas has gotten better too. Like, that secondary for Texas has gotten better. The offense still looks great. I know Jonathan Brooks is out, but they got a healthy stable of running backs that have kind of picked it up since he's gone, out with that knee injury. So Texas has gotten better as well. So like, if you want to compare Alabama and A&M, both teams have gone better, but they beat your butt in your stadium by double digits. So I think it would be idiotic for the committee to if Alabama beats Georgia, to put them in over Texas next week. And does it happen? Does it not? Texas is ahead of them right now. We'll see. Obviously, it would be a better win for Alabama to beat Georgia compared to being the number 18 team in the country in Oklahoma State. But man, like, what's the use of playing games if once again you don't take into account what actually happened on the field, and that's Texas kind of taking it to them. So I think Texas is still the better football team. I think Texas is one of the better teams in the country. I think Texas is a team that I like in a matchup versus Michigan. I like them in a matchup, not necessarily to win, but to make it competitive and possibly win versus Georgia. Obviously, they took care of business versus Alabama. It's a complete team. They can beat you on defense. They can beat you on offense.
Aaron, man, I know you had a very busy morning, so thanks for making some time for us, man. Let's do it soon, okay?
Appreciate you guys.